Now to a deadly shooting at a local elementary school parking lot. One victim and the suspect are dead. A second victim is expected to survive. And tonight we are learning more heartbreaking details in what Clark County investigators confirm had been an ongoing domestic violence situation. Fox 12's Sarah Hurwitz has been combing through court documents today. And Sarah, what else have you learned about the relationship between the suspected shooter and the victim?
Yeah, good evening, Liz. Well, we have learned that the sheriff's office says the victim in this shooting at Sarah J. Elementary had a restraining order against 38-year-old Kellen Hill. This was all stemming from a lengthy history of domestic violence. And so today we talked to a resource center to get ideas and tips if you feel unsafe. Several bullet holes through the window of a minivan show the grim aftermath of what court documents claim is a lengthy history of domestic violence. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says 5 people were inside that car when a man identified as Kellen Hill shot 2 of them. The victims, 2 adults, one who died from gunshot wounds, the other with non-life-threatening injuries. 3 kids were also inside, unhurt. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says Hill then took off, later stopped his car, and shot and killed himself. The Sheriff's Office confirms the victim who died had a restraining order against Hill, and he'd only been out of jail on a stalking charge for a few days. Court documents show a woman filed a restraining order against Hill in October, saying, quote, "I fear for my life. He continues to violate the no-contact order, and I know is getting angrier." The victim wrote he was violent toward her, and at one point threw her against the wall. Stephanie Barr is with the YWCA of Clark County, which has a number of domestic violence resources. She says, unfortunately, the reality of what played out Tuesday night is not uncommon in these types of situations.
I've been doing this work for 17 years, and unfortunately, this is not the first loss that we've experienced, and it won't be the last loss, and it's always heartbreaking and infuriating. I think often victims are doing everything they can to keep themselves safe. And it's important to remember that while the legal system and protection orders are a good and valuable resource, that it's just a piece of paper to some perpetrators.
Barr says it's important to let victims know the resources they have. They may be more likely to go to a friend or family member than a shelter, but that could be the first step to safety. And in a case like this, with repeated restraining order violations, she says relocating the victims or getting into an emergency domestic violence center are options. And if you feel unsafe, or if you know somebody who is, the YWCA of Clark County, they do have a hotline that you can call. That's listed on your screen right now. They also do have emergency shelters as well as advocacy support groups. Reporting live here in Vancouver tonight, Sarah Hurwitz, Fox 12 Oregon.